from Australia, this is Nabil Knows, the jet lag episode. How do you feel about Angela Rayner? How do you feel? Tell me how you feel.
I'm not angry, I'm disappointed.
You're not angry? Why aren't you angry?
I mean, maybe I am angry.
Where is your righteous indignation?
Maybe I'm not angry at this point because it's just constant.
If it was a Tory, would you be angry?
I probably would be more angry. Yeah. You'd probably be like, yeah.
You see the hypocrisy of politics. Angela Rayner has decided to bring yet more Nigerian-style politics to the UK. Right? That's mad. A government that has now put in laws where I can get arrested for looking at a woman for too long on the train. Everybody's making a, oh yeah, she's one of us because she goes raving. You guys are idiots. All these people have curated images that they use to make themselves relatable to specific demographics. Angela Rayner, I knew she was full of shit from the beginning, but everybody just like, oh, look at her, bless her heart. Yeah, and there's people even coming up, but actually, no, she hasn't done anything wrong. She's like, shut up! If that was a Tory, you guys be vomiting your organic muesli online. Huh? But Angela Rayner, well, it was a mistake. No, it was not a mistake. It was corruption. I grew up in 80s and 90s and early 2000s Nigeria. I have a PhD in corruptonomics. 101, chua chua, 419, huru huru. We call it so many different things. Left wingers, how do you feel? And also feminists, fuck you too. Okay. Let me not try not to sound like one of these, angry incel guys in a basement. Even though I am in a basement, but I'm definitely not incel. If you know what I mean. What I'm trying to say is this, right? There's this lie that people like to perpetuate that men in power are the problem, and that women in power are totally trustworthy. People forget about Margaret Thatcher, Benazir Bhutto, Bloody Mary, Indira Gandhi. Corruption is corruption. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. This is why democracy doesn't work. We need a theocracy. When the people rule based on a God they actually believe in, they'll be afraid to do such. This is not working. Like, she didn't even hide what she was. This is the worst part. These people aren't even trying to hide their crimes. What's worse is this: if you overclaim benefits and you don't pay back, or you do benefit fraud, you can go to jail. If you are a struggling business person and there's, business rates now, there's so many different types of taxes you have to pay depending on the kind of business you have. Corporation tax, you're paying rates, income tax, all these things. If you miss payments consistently, if you're struggling to pay because you don't make that much money, you can have bailiffs at your door or go to jail. What do you think is going to happen to Angela Rayner? Oh, she has to just step down from the second most powerful position in the UK. She didn't get fired. Huh? Bro, if you're caught stealing from the office, what happens to I'm telling you, the only way to fix this problem is to bring Sharia law to the UK. That's right, I said it. All these politicians need to get their hands cut off. And this is what annoys me. It's a left-winger doing it. We care about everybody. We're so moral. The Labour Party, even though no single member of a party has done a fucking day of Labour in their life. The Labour Party. Oh, yes. Hug me and warm my nipples. People are dying. People are struggling. We are living in times of austerity we have never seen before since war times. That's how bad it is. Avoid tax on a second home. Second, most of us can't even own one. Most of us can't even put together a deposit for one. A deposit for a house that the mortgage we might not even be able to pay because the rates keep on rising. Left wing, right wing, same bird. Shout out to all my Albanians. Nigel Farage, part of the appeal of reform politics is that they want people to pay less tax, right? So it is not against his principles to not be paying as much tax as he possibly could. In fact, it's seen as perfectly legal if you can find the loopholes, whether it's offshore accounts and whatnot, to not pay. He doesn't believe in it, and he's still paying. He's just paying as little as he can, and that's what every millionaire does. Every single one of them. And billionaires just flat out don't pay. Whereas Angela Rayner is part of a party that has now raised taxes to a point we've never seen before. Yeah, I'm talking Shylock level raised taxes, and then you're not paying. To me, she should be in prison, right? She should be in prison, and then her own money should be used to pay for her time in prison, not our taxes. Because that shit's expensive. We have like this huge problem where a lot of guys are standing outside hotels protesting, where these patriots go out, and well, I'm saying patriots because they don't like to be called far right, and I hope some of them watch this so they can hear what I have to say. A lot of these guys go out and they destroy stuff, and they kick off outside hotels, and they say they're doing it to protect women and children. But in the process of doing that, like a Muslim man and woman walking past, or a Muslim woman and her children walking past where they're painting the flag, will get abuse hurled at her. Like, did you ask that woman for her nationality or her paperwork, see if she came into the UK legally before you did that? And even if you did, if the crux of your argument is that it's men of fighting age coming into the UK who have left their families, if that woman is one of those people, then surely your fight isn't with her. So why are you hurling abuse at a woman simply for dressing different and having different color skin from you, or different ethnicity, or different culture from you? Surely, if anything, you should welcome her, right? Even if you see me walking down the street and you decide to attack me or hurl abuse at me, it's still wrong. But if you genuinely believe that I'm a man of fighting age that's come in through a 4-star hotel to come and rob all the women and rape all the men and learn how to do the peppermint twist, if that's what you think I'm here to do, that's still more understandable than things we've seen happening across where children as young as 6-year-old girls are being attacked by kids who are regurgitating the rhetoric that we're hearing from all these Tommy Robinson supporters. That being said, not every single person at these protests is necessarily a racist. I've seen some of these guys at protests saying, look, we will fly the Palestinian flag because those people are genuinely going through stuff, but we just don't want what the politicians are doing now, where they're bringing over, undocumented immigrants to the UK. Now, we can argue statistics and facts all day. The reality is this. Everywhere you look, like Akala said to, what's that pussy's name from that used to be Good Morning Britain?
Pearson.
Yeah, fuck that guy. He's blocked me on Twitter, pussyo. Akala said to him, the factors that contribute to crime are universal. Where you have deprivation, lack of education, lack of jobs, lack of opportunity, and broken homes, you will have anger and crime. And a lot of those men in those groups, if they were another culture, they'd be in a different group. If they were another religion, they'd be in a different group. And they genuinely feel that they've grown up and watched their country change. There's nothing more dangerous than a man who feels out of control. A man who feels he has no power in his life. And a lot of these men, that's how they feel. The white working class has been disenfranchised. They've had the piss taken out of them on TV, in media, in literature for decades, centuries even. England has a history of abusing the white working class. Landlords and landladies, serfdom. There's so much we can delve into. To be a white working class man is probably almost as bad as being black in the UK. Almost. The only difference is if police turn up and there's been a robbery, they're going to get me before they get Barry or Gaff. If you look at some of these estates, council estates, in white-only areas, parts of Eltham, parts of, Scunthorpe, these guys go through real poverty. They do not have the tools, the access to realize the true problems, the true things that are causing their problems economically. Stuff like Angela Rayner, that's part of the problem. Stuff like Israel, that is part of the problem. But they can't really change those things anyway. So what do? They go to the nearest thing they can change, because the whole concept of prefects in school, the whole concepts of colonization, when the English colonized the place, and when I say the English, I don't mean the working class man. I mean the same people now that are giving us hell here. When they colonized the place, they would always make an artificially created middle class, or a group of people that could be scapegoated. And a lot of the time, some of those people in that group deserved to be scapegoated. Where in colonies, it would be mulattoes or mixed race people that they would create and give better positions, or they would go somewhere like, the Belgians in Rwanda, they would give one tribe that's a minority power and control over assets that the majority do not have. Why? So that when people rebel, if they can't get to us, but we give them a target that's reasonable that they can attack, they'll forget about us. So now we've got these hotels full of foreigners, and these guys can't go to the Labour Party and demand that our taxes stop being sent to warlords across the world. These guys can't go and demand that Angela Rayner. They can't do anything. They can't go and demand money that the Tories stole for over a decade. But what they can do to make themselves feel better is go and throw rocks at a hotel. It's catharsis. That's why we watch action films. And I'm not saying it's good, nor am I saying they don't have a reason to be angry. I'm angry too. We all have reasons to be angry. So they're going to the next best thing and they're venting their rage at that. So many people who lack education are pandering to this nonsense. And this is why, again, I rebel against this culture of left-wing, right-wing, ally, intersectional nonsense. Because, for example, Ryland Clark, as we know, Ryland Clark is of the gay. And, there's always been this thing that's being pushed on black people and Muslims and so on, that us and people under the rainbow flag banner, that we're allies, and there's this international super friends union of all the despicables that nobody likes. And I've always said it's bollocks. And I'd like to thank Ryland for proving it, because this guy came out, sat on national television, and spewed a bunch of problematic nonsense. And this is the thing I keep trying to tell people, right? If you're black and gay, nigga, you're black first. Even in the gay community, there's racism. If you're black and Muslim, there's racism in the Muslim community, right? There's intersectionality is a con. It's a con. There's always going to be tribes and differences. You pick your side based on the battle you're fighting at the time, right? Because everybody needs someone to look down on. And look at what Ryland... The worst part about what Ryland did is he didn't even say it angrily. He said it with, no, I mean, I'm just saying. Like, fuck you, bro. And this is my proof to all the people out here that want to fight everybody else's fight, but then forget their own. Look at Ryland. Look what he did. With no research, this man said it confidently. And guess what? He's not going to have to be held accountable for what he said, because he still wields an element of privilege. I've debated with white feminists and so on, and they all talk about this intersectionality stuff and lived experiences. But the reality is, Ryland is not going to have to deal with the nonsense he has caused to women who wear hijab, to men who are visibly Muslim, to black and brown people as a whole in the UK, by further perpetuating this nonsense that has already led to little children being assaulted. And this just proves to everybody, I keep on saying, I don't care what all this liberal or so-called wokeism tells you. Just because somebody is gay doesn't mean they'll have your back. Everyone that came to see me in Australia, I had such an amazing time there. And special thank you to all the fans of Nabil Knows in Australia. There are a lot of you. I met some of you. I didn't even realize that we'd gone that far, but of course we have. It's the internet. So yeah, thank you so much, man. You guys, we're a growing but very, very loyal fan base, and I appreciate every single one of you. So thank you. Please keep sharing, liking, supporting, and we'll grow this, man. It's been a great ride. Let's continue as we started till the end of the year. Of course, Borno State is still having trouble. Boko Haram. I mean, at this point, it's not really Boko Haram, because, these problems start happening when France destabilized certain countries that share borders with Nigeria, like Chad and so on. A lot of the time, when you see interviews or videos of Boko Haram guys speaking Hausa, and this is not something even the average Nigerian knows, because not everybody can speak Hausa. It's the language of northern Nigeria. These guys don't have Nigerian Hausa accents. These guys are from francophone countries. These guys are, for the most part, mercenaries from other countries who are now making a quick buck by kidnapping. And a lot of the time, they kidnap or they do targeted acts of violence to destabilize the country and distract people from bigger problems happening in Nigeria. We have a president now that is completely remodeling the political makeup of Nigeria, putting only people of his tribe in certain positions. At meetings now in Parliament, they don't even sing the national anthem anymore, which is mad, because this idiot changed our national anthem. They sing the party mandate song called On Your Mandate We Shall Stand. Does that not sound like the actions of a dictator? Anyway, I don't want to attack him, because I know people, what's your problem? No people at Tinubu where they do this. Okay, fine. So I won't even bang on about him anymore, but fuck Tinubu. The real issue is this. The Nigerian army has tactically been underfunded and weakened and broken up into bits, so that the people at the top get loads of money, but the average soldiers do not get the equipment and the weaponry they need. The Nigerian army was once one of the best peacekeeping armies in the world, with deployments into Somalia, Sudan, Burundi, Rwanda, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and so on. Nigerian soldiers so many Nigerian soldiers go on to have amazing careers in other militaries, particularly the US Army. Because Nigerian soldiers, despite their lack of weaponry or technology that Western soldiers have, they are some of the toughest, grittiest motherfuckers you will ever meet. Very, very tough, especially when it comes to guerrilla warfare, urban terrorism, and so on. Bush war, all that kind of stuff. The only soldiers that could actually match Nigerian soldiers when it comes to fighting on that kind of terrain would ironically be the racist Boer soldiers of South Africa, right? And even they say, those fucking Nigerians say they can fight. Late 90s, early 2000s, the Nigerian army would have wiped Boko Haram out in a couple of days. tops. But now, because of the problems, these guys are going in without the amount of weaponry they need, without the kind of support they need. They don't even have the kind of air support they need, which is mad because the Nigerian train system, which is just as advanced as the one we have here in the UK, they have drones and stuff flying to monitor the area to make sure that nothing interferes with the trains between Abuja and Kaduna ever since the last kidnappings happened. Why? Because a lot of rich people are on those trains. Whereas people in poorer parts of Nigeria, in poorer parts of certain parts of Nigeria like Borno, Chibok, these areas, these village rural areas are left unguarded. I've always said to people, the worst place in the world to be a poor person is Nigeria. But the best place in the world to be a rich person is everywhere. Nigeria, we need a change. I think we need to have a military dictatorship again. Because this democracy shit is not working. Okay? And the thing is, I'm not the only one that thinks that. Which is why they have underpowered our military. Because in the past, Nigeria had a very simple code. If you are the president, you can steal as much money as you like. But once we're tired of you, we kill you. Sorry, you just die suddenly of an explosion in your car or hundreds of bullets through your head. But now, our army can't do that because they're underfunded. That's Nigeria for you in a nutshell. But still, glory to Nigeria. Ginga Jay went on the show BackChat. Now, for those of you who are responsible middle-aged people like me, yes, Uncle Nabil is now officially middle-aged. Look at the grade. But Ginga Jay is a guy who, if I'm not mistaken, did 11 years in prison. You get a show where you get groups of men and women with no tangible qualifications to discuss anything social at all. Put them in a dark room and have them rage bait each other. You then get a guy who was in jail for 11 years. Do you know how long 11 years is? This guy almost completed the elementary phases of the Scottish education system. 11 years means you went to year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6. Then did 5 years of secondary school. And if you're smart, maybe you now pass and go to A-levels. Somebody learned how to spell and then algebra and economics and history in 11 years. And while that person was doing that, this brother was in jail. And you want to ask him about relationship? Hey, do you understand what you have to do to be in jail for 11 years in England? Pedophiles are coming out in 2 years. People are stabbing someone and coming out in 4. When he was in jail, do you know what he was doing? Don't worry, we'll get onto that. And the producers of this show thought it was a good idea to seat this man in a room full of people, many of whom I would describe clinically as idiots, and have him debate with people about relationships. Let me ask you something. How much relationship experience, mature relationship experience, what feasible advice could this guy give you on a healthy relationship? And no, don't make any jokes about cellmates and that don't happen in UK prisons. My man went to jail for 11 years for a gun and grenade attack. And you think it's a good idea to put him in a dark room with a bunch of people who are face to face chatting shit to him and get him upset? Listen, I'm not even saying that I agree with what he said. The guy clearly has some trauma issues. He said so himself. He's got issues with his mom. Why do we even platform people like this and put them in a position? Do you know how badly that could have gone? Do you not understand the trauma that this man is carrying? You guys need to think about this. This is a man who's lived through the mean streets of South London and then 11 years in prison while being short, black, and ginger. That's like playing Dark Souls on the hardest setting, blindfolded, with a control pad that does not work. And you want to put man on a show and ask him about relationships? Are you mad? Do you understand how badly that could have gone? They then follow this guy backstage while he's trying to calm down and record him more. Did you see what this guy said he did to somebody with a spoon in prison? My man used a spoon to give somebody an enema. This guy used a spoon to help cure somebody of constipation. Like, my man became a proctologist in prison, and that's the guy you want to chat shit to? Nah, leave that man alone, bro. I was in jail for 2 years, and I never saw some shit like that. That is a different level. If my roadman career was A-level, this guy is PhD. Well, guys, thanks for watching. I'll be back soon. In the meantime, please keep supporting. If you haven't watched it already, or even if you have, watch The Purple Pill. It is a brilliant special on YouTube for you for free. It will be one of the best hours that you have watched. I guarantee it. And I'll even give you your money back if you don't think so. It's for free. Watch The Purple Pill. Also, people of Zurich, I'm coming to entertain and hopefully get back some of that money that politicians from Nigeria have left in your bank accounts. over there in Switzerland, as we call it in Nigeria. So yes, I will be there soon. Get your tickets now. Tickets are available. I'll give you the link right here. And I will be bringing my show Urban Batuta to Zurich. That's right, because we are international over here. Yeah.